to talk a little bit about puck protection by Draisaitl and what he's doing here and what to look for and how to learn from this. I had a follower from Twitter reach out to me and ask me to break down some stuff about Draisaitl, how he protects the puck. And I'm just going to go over it now and just show a couple examples of how he protects the puck. And then the next piece of it is that something I teach a lot of the players is the categories of the offensive zone. And this categories of the offensive zone is something where if you can see the ice in this sort of light, it helps you understand how to make decisions and how to achieve creating offensive, I'd say deadly offensive scoring opportunities. And this map is something great. I used it, and this is kind of how I saw the ice. And I was explaining it to a goalie friend of mine, Josh Robinson, and he's like, "Hey, I got this chart that you're going to love." And this is this chart that I got here, categories of the zone. So what we're going to watch here is Leon Draisaitl when he enters the zone, the offensive zone, how he drives the puck. And what I want you to pay attention to is his left arm. He does this a lot. He gets his left arm out. He leans into the player that's trying to come at him. So he boxes that player out with his body, but he also uses his left arm to shield the puck. This is a huge detail because it helps him really control that defending player's stick and where that defending player can poke. And it keeps that player to the outside. It also makes that defensive player a little bit tentative because if he leans too far, if he tries to lunge too fast, too hard, Draisaitl can spin off to the right, and now he can attack the middle of the ice. So in this clip, in the first clip, we have him driving in the offensive zone. He comes through, he's driving down the wall. And if we match that up with our categories of the zone chart, you'll see that he's driven now two defending Calgary Flames players down into category 1. And now he gets his eyes up and he's trying to find where that threat is, using the categories of the zone to understand how to find something deadly. Now let's think about that. Again, he drives those two players down into category 1, immediately looks because mathematically there should be somebody open. He's got two guys down into bad ice, considered bad ice because that's not threatening to the net ice. Now it's like try to find where that open guy is. And he does a great job here, driving that puck, using puck protection, finds the open guy. And now that causes a scramble in the defensive zone coverage for Calgary. And as this play develops, now it's simple what happens here and how they get that goal, because it's a scramble mode for Calgary and they're just all over the place trying to cover threats. But it all started with Draisaitl driving two defending players down into category 1, using puck protection to make sure that he keeps control of it. And for you players on an individual basis, what you're going to have to get used to here, what you're going to have to get good at is being able to take one hand off your stick, lean into a check and have that puck control. If you're a lefty, with your right hand. If you're a righty, it's with your left hand, obviously. So that's the kind of key details that you want to focus on when you're trying to achieve this and practice this on your own and bring it into your own game. And now we're going to go into the next clip. And here we'll have it's the same thing. Watch him off this draw. He comes behind the net, takes his left hand off his stick. He protects his puck from that defending player's poke check. And then what else he does here is he's got him on his hip. He's using his left arm to kind of shield that guy off. And then that stops momentum from the defending player. It makes it so that player can't be aggressive on the puck. He doesn't have control of the situation as the defending player. Draisaitl has control of him. He's holding him off and shielding the puck, finding and waiting for that time to come where he's got an open lane. He's in category 1. Now he's going to look to find where the threat is. He sees it up, and now it's category 3. This guy coming down, walks into a bomb, creates a goal. So this is how we match up what we're trying to achieve when we're controlling that puck and using puck protection in category 1. What are we trying to find? And this is a player that's amazing at it. The one key detail that I'll talk about with Draisaitl too, that really impresses me about him is how good he is with his backhand passing. It is sick how good he is with he's so accurate with it. And there's no other words to say. He's just amazing at it. He's very accurate, very comfortable with it. And that's why he has no problem taking players. When players try to steer him or drive him to his backhand, he's almost more comfortable. So that's something to learn from on an individual basis. If you're a player watching Draisaitl, watch how good he is on his backhand. And here we have a play coming off where it's down again in category 1. The puck is coming around the wall. The little details that I like about this is Draisaitl gets his head up. He starts scanning the ice. What a lot of players will do here, what I find to be the fall point, is they'll watch this puck come all the way around the wall and stare at it the whole time. And then when it gets to their stick, that's when they decide they're going to check their shoulder for information. Here he checks his shoulder really early, and this is how you get ahead of the game. This is how you see the play 2 or 3 seconds ahead of time, is by scanning the ice. And here again, the puck is coming around the wall. He checks his shoulder, and if you can see where he's checking, he sees that McDavid has beat his coverage, and now he's winning that sprint to the net. And again, what I just talked about is backhand passes. Watch this play, and this is not a fluke. This is not. Danny and I talked about it in our segment, watching the highlights and just seeing what happens on the highlights and then trying to do it. What's important for us as mentors or coaches is really helping the players understand all the information so that they can do this in their game. Because someone else sees some youth players, they'll see this play happen, and then tomorrow they'll go in their game or in their practice. Every time the puck comes in the corner, they just grab it and throw it to the middle of the ice. That's not what happens here. This is calculated. This is a read, and this is executed perfectly because of the first part. He scanned the ice. He found his player that won the race. And now the next piece is he's gotten to a place where he's so good on his backhand. He puts his thing with accuracy directly on McDavid's tape, directly in his lane on his tape, where he's got now has a scoring chance. So this is not a blind pass from the corner and just hoping that it goes in the middle and something happens. This is, again, calculated. He executes. And again, if we bring it back to the categories of the zone, he draws that coverage into category 1, and he finds a threat in category 2, which leads into a breakaway. So there's a small example of, again, we started off as puck protection, but the deeper dive, the deeper lesson of that, again, is using the categories of the zone and how to achieve things using the ice smartly. When you're in category 1, finding the threats, drawing coverage to you, and how to hold that coverage off, I guess, would be the moral of the story from these clips. So I hope you enjoyed the clips. I hope they were helpful. If you guys have any more questions, if you want to see some clips, or there's some details that you'd like to hear about or watch, shoot us a message, and we'll be happy to dive into them and show you what you're looking for.